Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Random Blogging. So today, I want to talk about something that I've discovered about myself. Specifically, that I am kind of a creepy guy. What I mean by that, you guys have heard me talk about things like the Geek and Surgery Vlogs channel and how that changed my life and blah, 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 blah. I realized recently when I was on Twitter that I come off as a little bit creepy to some of the former Geek and Sundry vloggers. Simply because, like, these people, not only do I respect and admire them, but quite a few of them I consider friends. And there's a much larger group that I would like to consider friends. But I don't yet, simply because we don't really know each other that well. Yeah, like I'm almost to the point of obsession with the stuff that these guys have been doing since the vlogs channel ended over a year ago. And so yeah, I follow a lot of them on Twitter. I tend to watch the stuff that they do whenever I can. The thing that kind of hinted to me that I may come off as just slightly creepy was I was watching what is it? Rocket Jump. They have a Twitch channel. And I was watching Rocket Jump, and I saw Holland Farkas come on because Holland works for Rocket Jump. And I immediately went into chat. I'm like, "Hey, Holland, how are you?" Because I know Holland somewhat. She was a former vlogger. We were actually on the same. Google Plus Hangout once. So we know of each other. I talk to her a lot. I'm not sure if she considers me a friend or just a really creepy dude that follows her on the internet. But I would go as far to say that we are good acquaintances. Until I meet her in person or have more conversations with her, I probably wouldn't say that we're friends, just because I'm still kind of that creepy dude that just follows her on social media a lot. And so I realized that I come off kind of creepy. And again, mostly that's because, like I said, I care about these people. I admire these people. I want to see what they do succeed. So this video is actually going to be me doing kind of a "where are they now" thing for the former Geek and Sundry vloggers, for as many as I could find. There are some that have kind of disappeared from the internet, which is great. I'm sure that their life is going very, very well without this, but most of them have been doing some really, really awesome stuff involving the internet and creation and things like that. So I just want to kind of highlight it. In the doobly-doo below, I am going to try, for every person I talk about, I'm going to try and leave a link to the thing that is easiest to find out everything about them from. Some of them have their own website, some of them still have their YouTube channel, and some of them, their Twitter is the greatest place to find everything that they do. So there will be links in the doobly-doo for you guys to all check out all the different stuff that these guys do. First things first, I've basically just loaded up the Geek and Sundry Wikipedia page, and they have a section on the Geek and Sundry vlogs that lists all of them. So I'm just gonna go off that list. First things first, Nika Harper. Nika Harper had a show called Wordplay, where it was basically about creative writing. It was really, really cool. A very underappreciated show, in my personal opinion, simply because from a creative aspect, that one had probably the biggest impact on the community itself. It inspired people to write some crazy, amazing stuff. When the Geek and Sundry forums were still really active, the Wordplay forum was definitely the most active, and you found some amazing stuff there. Nika now has transitioned from kind of content creator on the internet to she's now, I mean, I guess you could say that she's a full-time author now. She's released I think 2 different volumes of collected short stories that she makes. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments below. She is, from what I can get from her Twitter, She travels a lot, does a lot of speaking engagements, is what I'm getting. Again, I may be wrong. I'm not really as close with Nika as I am with a few of the other vloggers. And she's generally just doing amazing, awesome stuff. She was recently on the Co-optional podcast and got to talk about a lot of the stuff that she's doing. But she now is very much focused on being an author. I actually have one of her collections of short stories. I think it's called Tales of an Old Soul. I may be wrong on that. I've got it on Amazon, whatever their reading thing is. I can't, Kindle. I've got it on Kindle. I haven't had a chance to read it yet because, to be honest, I have like 3 or 4 books on my Kindle that I have not read yet at all because of how busy I am. But all the things that I have read of hers are amazing. She guest blogged on Will Wheaton's blog while he's out of town. So she's doing a lot of writing, and it's very, very cool. She also streams every so often and uploads those streams to her YouTube channel when she can. So her YouTube channel is somewhat active every so often, but basically the best place to find a lot of her stuff is actually her website, which is, I believe it's thisisnika.com. Let me look. Yeah, thisisnika.com, where she has everything. She's got her Patreon, or her Patreon. She's got a lot of different stuff. It's really, really cool. So check that out. Next, Becca Canote and Neil McNeil. Becca, I was not able to find specifics of what she's doing right now. I was able to kind of browse through her Twitter. I know she's doing a ton of stuff, and her Twitter is very, very active. But as far as like specifics to a website or film projects or anything like that, I wasn't able to find specifics, but I know she's doing a lot. Neil was kind of similar, where he has a very active Twitter account, and he's recently just started up a new podcast that I think I've got here somewhere. There we go. Unhappy Endings is his new podcast based on this show, Unhappy Endings. They're at 4 episodes right now. Becca has actually guest starred on one of them. So that's what Neil's doing, and I believe he has other stuff that he's doing as well. My understanding, at least from the very short amount of research I was able to do, is their Twitter pages are the greatest place to find out the stuff that they're doing that I could find. Again, I was not as into geeking out. Like, it wasn't for me. So I didn't follow them nearly as much as some of the other vloggers. So I don't know quite as much. I will put as much info as I can in the doobly-doo for you to be able to stalk them. JBI, James Tiger Monkey Isaacs, started off as thumb wrestling, then he went to reading. He is a professional actor now, and he has done a ton of stuff. His Twitter, he puts a lot of stuff on. I actually found, I went to IMDb to look up his actual thing that he's done, and he's just done tons of stuff. He was on Classic Alice. He was in Social Medium, Emma Approved. He was on House of Lies. What other cool stuff has he done? He's actually, he did some directing back in 2008. Like, he's done a lot of stuff. He works with, I think it's called Pemberley Digital. The guys that made, what do you call it? Emma Approved and all those other things like that. He's worked with them a lot. So yeah, he's doing a lot of acting. His YouTube page hasn't been updated for a couple of months, but he did have a couple different series that he was doing on his YouTube page as well. One was called Change a Lyric, where he just changed a single lyric, and it was kind of comedy. Another one was Does It Taste Good on Pizza, which was fairly entertaining depending on what he was putting on the pizza. And he still does stuff with fan mail and stuff like that. It's just been a couple of months, basically, I think since the beginning of the new year, that he's really uploaded anything. So it may be that he's in the middle of a project right now. He may just be taking a break for a second, but those are kind of the two best places to kind of find the stuff that he's doing. I'll probably just link his YouTube channel because it's got most of his contact information there for you to be able to stalk him. Next up, Sachi. Sachi was another one that I wasn't able to find a ton on beyond. She still has a YouTube channel that she does a lot on. and she streams on Twitch on a fairly regular basis. The thing I've seen her stream the most has been RuneScape, which is an old MMORPG. Back when I was in high school, it was still kind of old. So yeah, she does that a lot. And I just yeah, that was her YouTube channel that I literally just pulled up. But she is doing a lot on her YouTube channel. So that would definitely be the place to do it. She still does a lot of cosplay stuff. I believe she still goes to conventions and stuff like that, even though I haven't been able to keep up on that aspect. But her YouTube channel has just tons of stuff. She just uploaded something yesterday. So very, very active and doing awesome, amazing things. Next up, Amy is my favorite of the Geek and Sundry vloggers. She has been since the beginning. I find her adorable and amazing and just phenomenal person in general. I've had a few instances where I've been able to interact with her, but I still think I come off as a creepy dude with her. So, Amy, if you're watching this, I'm not nearly as creepy as I act, I swear. I just think a lot of the stuff that you do is amazing. Amy still works with Geek and Sundry. She's actually one of the hosts on their Twitch channel. She used to host what was called The Pull, which was a comics talk show. That's now kind of transitioned into Drama Club Heroes, where they basically do staged readings of really bad comic book themed scripts. And some of it is quite hilarious. I don't get to watch it live because it's on the same time that I stream my D&D games. But I watch highlights and stuff like that. She's amazing. She also, they just released Future Girl, which is a web series that she helped create and starred in, and it was so phenomenal. I did a whole series of TJ's thoughts specifically on Future Girl in the 3 episodes they put out. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Yeah, Amy Dallin, again, probably the easiest place to find out everything that she's doing, because it's a ton. Is her Twitter, which I will have linked below, and that has links to literally everything else that she does. And if you just follow her on Twitter, you will find out just the massive amount of awesome that she contributes to on a fairly regular basis. Next up, Jeff Lewis. I have no idea what he's doing. He was probably the largest profile person on the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel when it started. I know he does improv comedy and a bunch of other things. I was unable to find anything that really linked to him currently doing anything. But he's really good at friends with Felicia Day. And yeah, he was interesting to me, but he was never the reason that I came to the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel. He was a little bit too much of, a celebrity in my eyes to really... for me to really get attached to. The reason I like the rest of these guys is they were so much like me, except for the fact that they were popular. And so that's why I kind of looked onto him. So I don't know what Jeff is doing anymore. If you guys know what he's doing, put it in the comments below. Katie kind of disappeared off the internet. Her YouTube channel hasn't been updated in years. Her Twitter has not been used in a while. The only thing I could really find for Katie, she does have an Instagram that she uses a ton. And I'm not an Instagrammer. Someone just tweeted me. I'm not an Instagrammer, so I don't really know how to gauge how cool that is. But yeah, if you want to know what Katie's doing, I'll put her Instagram in there. So yeah. Next, Paul Mason. Paul Mason's YouTube channel is still going very, very strong. He still does DIY stuff on an incredibly regular basis. The few interactions that I've had with the guy, he's probably one of the kindest gentlemen I've ever had the pleasure to interact with. And he's just a really, really cool guy. But his YouTube channel is where it's at. He regularly does a lot of DIY stuff and projects and things like that. And it's really, really impressive, just the level, not only the level of quality that he puts into it, but the fact that his DIY guides are actually very easy to follow so that you can do it yourself. And I think that's something that I haven't seen on a lot of other DIY, really big DIY channels, is they get a little bit too much into the presentation of it, and you lose your ability to kind of follow along a little bit. So yeah, Paul's YouTube channel is definitely the way to find him. I also found out there's apparently a journalist named Paul Mason. So when I was looking for stuff about him, I just kept seeing all this journalist stuff. I'm like, that's not Paul. So yes, Mitch Hutz is another one that's kind of disappeared a little bit. His YouTube channel hasn't been updated in a while. His Twitter is he uses it fairly regularly, but as far as like actually doing stuff, he's still the owner of the Drunken Moogle, and that still gets updated every so often. But probably his Twitter is the best place to find out the stuff he's doing. Um, so yeah, I'm not seeing any current projects of his that he's doing that we can really support. So beyond just following him on Twitter, that would kind of be the most that I could find about him. If you, again, any one of these people that I talk about that I missed something, put it in the comments below, because this entire video is basically about how you can still support this amazing group of people. Next up after that, Two Broke Geeks. Two Broke Geeks. Omar is probably the Geek and Sundry vlogger that I have the best relationship with. We speak to each other on Twitter on a fairly regular basis. I've actually invited him to be on a bunch of the D&D things that I do, and he's just massively busy all the time. And he's just overall a really great, amazing person. Mia, we don't communicate as much just because, again, she's super, super busy. But she's amazing too. The Two Broke Geeks still have their YouTube channel. It's not quite as active as it used to be, but I believe they still update fairly regularly. However, me and Omar are both doing a lot of writing now, specifically for web series and stuff like that. Mia actually wrote one of, she actually wrote was it the finale? I think it was the finale of Future Girl, which was my favorite episode of Future Girl. So she's doing that. Omar works for Loot Crate now, and actually does videos and things like that for Loot Crate on a fairly regular basis. So that's the thing. The easiest way to find out literally all the different things that they're doing is still their @2BrokeGeeks account on Twitter. Just because they do so many different things now that it's really hard to kind of pinpoint one location to find out about all of it. So their Twitter account is the greatest place to be able to kind of go to one place, find all the different things that they're doing. Christina Visiu, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. She actually kind of took over where Katie Sadow kind of left. Her YouTube channel is very, very successful. Where did you go? I have you around here. Here it is. Her YouTube channel, she does beauty vlogs and stuff like that. And she regularly uploads really high quality content. I'll have a link to her YouTube channel in the doobly-doo below. I'm not a beauty type if you guys couldn't, figure that one out already. I'm not a beauty type person. That's not really my thing. So I don't watch her stuff that much. But she regularly gets thousands of views on her channel, which is so far beyond anything that I get. So yeah, she's very successful, very, very good stuff. Definitely check her stuff out. Again, links in the doobly-doo. Next up, Songs of Adventure. Caitlin and Vaughn, I believe, got hitched. Because now Caitlin, instead of Caitlin Papier, she's Caitlin DeVille, and she has a music career that is phenomenal. I've got, where is it? I think I've got her website, just because, dear Lord, or no, I've got her YouTube channel because she's updating that regularly. But oh my word, she tours with her electric violin music, and just phenomenal, amazing stuff. She just a week ago uploaded a new original song to her YouTube channel, and she does concerts all over the world. I've seen videos of her concerts. Like she just doesn't play electric violin. I mean, she does. She's very, very good at it. But I've seen her, like, they put her on wires and fly her through the concert, and like it's just bonkers how awesome she's gotten. So I'll have a link to probably her website which I believe is CaitlinDeVille.com. Simply because that's the best place to find everything. But her YouTube channel is still very, very active as well. Vaughn, I think, supports her. I don't exactly know what he does. I wasn't really able to find a whole lot about Vaughn. Um, but I believe he still supports her through technological. And show this again, technology aspect. Like he used to be her mixer and stuff like that during Songs of Adventure, and I believe he still does that in a way. I don't know 100%. So if you guys know better, or Vaughn, if you want to mention anything, comments below. Next up is going to be Dale. Dale. Dale, 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 Dale. Dale Kingsmill is an amazing, lovely, wonderful person. Her YouTube channel, she's actually still doing her mythology vlog on her YouTube channel. She had a Pokemon Nuzlocke that she did, a randomizer Nuzlocke. That was so much fun. She named all of her Pokemon after Shakespeare characters. And watching her, like, I got worried when she would go into battles and I'd be like, oh, wait, 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 that's the wrong type thing. And you'd watch her Pokemon's hit points go down to like single digits. You're like, no, don't. That one she finished. I have no idea if she's going to do another one, but I really enjoyed it. She was also on Future Girl. She was in the final episode. You'll see that's kind of a running theme. She was on the final episode. She played the coolest character ever. Definitely rivaled Steph Woodburn as just the character that stood out the most. Uh, my favorite line was they're talking. She's like, "I met her when I was buying cat food," and then Amy's character Curie goes, "Oh, really? You have a cat?" And she goes, "No." And just such a cool character. So I will have links to her YouTube channel because that's the best place to find all the stuff that she's doing. And kind of go from there. Kiri Callaghan. Kiri Callaghan is phenomenally amazing. She's gone through some rough stuff. She's gone through some crazy stuff, and she has come out on top every single time. Um, I did a Friday feature focus on her because she's done things like release books. She's currently writing her second book in the Terra Mirum trilogy, I believe is what it's eventually going to be, which is really, really cool. Her YouTube channel, she still updates regularly. She still does Curiosity on there, and she also does some other stuff. One of my favorite things she does is what's called a Bird's Eye View, where you basically just kind of personal vlogs, kind of like what I do, except cooler. And so, yeah, she does that. She also now works for Maker Studios. Maker is the studio that is the owner of the Polaris YouTube channel. There are a lot of people that work with Maker, people like Dodger, Dodger Lee, who's been on Tabletop a couple of times. Jesse Cock was formerly with Polaris and Maker. He now has gone off on his own. And just there's literally tons of people that work for Maker. They're owned by Disney. So she's now working for them. She's actually shown up on their daily news show, The Daily Bite, when Dodger was out of town twice, which I went there and just went, Kiri Callaghan, we want more! Because, again, I'm a creepy stalker guy. So definitely check out all her stuff. It's really, really cool. Her YouTube channel is just massively doing awesome stuff. However, her Twitter is probably the best place to find all the different stuff she does. She even was on the D&D podcast for Extra Life. She played on there with Nika, actually, and did some amazing stuff. So check that stuff out. Terry Latorco. Terry is amazing, to be perfectly honest. She was my very first subscriber to my YouTube channel. We have connected again recently through Twitter about a couple other stuff and some wargaming stuff. She is just crazy awesome, and she's doing so much. I'm actually going to bring up everything that she's doing. So she has this thing called Star Trek Hour, which I believe is kind of a combination podcast and Twitter conversation, which is really, really cool. Go to not YouTube, go to Twitter and type in hashtag Star Trek Hour, and you can see some of the conversations that we have. about it, and it's a really cool thing that talks about different themes from Star Trek. Um, she also still uploads stuff about wargaming and painting miniatures and stuff like that to her YouTube channel, which is still very active. And then she's actually still involved with Geek and Sundry. She actually writes for their website. She writes articles for their website. Recently, I've been seeing a lot more of her articles come up. I think in the past like 3 or 4 weeks, I've seen like 3 or 4 different articles that she's written go up pretty quickly. So I think she's kind of ramping that up. I may be reading into things that aren't there, but she is writing for that. She also has a podcast called The Board Dames, which is a board gaming podcast that you can find a bunch of different places. And she does reviews for miniature markets. So she does a ton. She also apparently still does roller derby type stuff too. So like she's just doing crazy, crazy amounts of stuff. Again, the easiest way to find a lot of her stuff is just following her on Twitter. So I'll be linking her Twitter, and hopefully that has everything that she does, because it's just so much, so much. Scott. Scott kind of took a break from the internet for a little bit after getting burnt out from Geek and Sundry and everything else that happened. And now he's back in full force. He actually does videos for BBC Social's Facebook page, which are really entertaining. Um, and that's the biggest thing that I've seen him doing. I know he still, every so often, was uploading stuff to his YouTube channel. I haven't been able to check it in a while, so I don't know. I haven't seen anything in my feed. But his big thing that he's doing right now is he's actually working for the BBC Social, which is a big deal, doing stuff about video games. So very, very cool. I will have links to his Twitter because that's, again, the easiest place to find all of his stuff. Akeem has recently started really focusing on his YouTube channel again. He's been updating things regularly. He still does funny voices. He does impression, I guess, how-to guides on a fairly regular basis, but his YouTube channel is where he's really putting the biggest focus right now. He's been trying to upgrade the quality of the stuff that he does and all this stuff, and so that's what he's focusing on right now. And it's really, really good. So I'll have links to his YouTube channel. Holland, I mentioned before, Holland works for Rocket Jump now. She's actually in charge of their Twitch channel. She does a lot with that. And that kind of takes up, I believe, takes up most of her time. Because beyond that, I haven't really seen her doing anything else. But that's a huge, huge thing. She actually, if you watch Rocket Jump, the TV series, she shows up in there a couple of times. She's regularly on the Twitch channel because that's kind of her job now. And she does a ton of stuff with Rocket Jump, which is so, so cool. I'm so happy for her to be able to do that. She also used to be an intern at Geek and Sundry, which is where I would kind of stalk her before. She would show up on their Twitch stream and I'm like, oh my god, it's Holland! And then I realized how creepy I started getting. I'm like, well, no, I'm just going to continue being creepy because that's the kind of guy I am. So yeah, I will leave links to Holland's Twitter account because, again, that's the easiest place to see all the different stuff that she's doing. She tweets regularly. And yeah, so that's the entire Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel. This has been an ungodly long video. But there was tons of them. I think there was 15 of those guys. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, there was 18 of those guys. 18. I made it in less than 30 minutes. I mean, that's crazy. It's like 2 minutes. It's less than 2 minutes per vlogger. Don't give me that look. Don't. So, yeah, I'm still super obsessed with these people. I think they're amazing, lovely people. The reason I have a YouTube channel is because of these people. Geek and Sundry Vlogs got me my start. These guys gave me the inspiration to keep going, to keep growing, to keep becoming better. I'm still not to their level, but I hope one day to be able to support myself through my creations and things like that. These people are the ones that are doing it. They're doing exactly what they want to do, which is really, really cool. Anyway, that's all for me today. I will see you guys on Monday for another random vlogging, all right? Bye-bye!